think that the light needs to be...
There, that's perfect. Should we turn it down a little bit or no?
I thought it needed to go lighter, but yeah, that's good.
I'm going to do up here a little bit. Okay, we're late on this live. Are we live? Todd, hello? Hello? Can you guys see us and hear us okay?
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Hannah. Yes, you can hear me well. Perfect.
Okay.
This is my twin sister.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda Ray.
You guys know this face?
Hi, everyone.
You guys are so lucky to see this because I know it's such a late live, but we've been filming today, and hopefully we're going to be coming out with a interview with my little sister Rachel. But right now is the chance for you guys to ask her any questions. I was going to just kind of talk about some things that maybe people didn't know about with you on Escaping Polygamy, if you wanted to talk about them. But also, if you guys wanted to ask any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, any questions you guys have?
Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Erica. Hi, first time watching. Have been watching them. Oh, great.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen me ever in a live except for on Patreon.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Actually, I think I popped in here and there, and I've been on, yeah, I have been on a few, right?
Not ever an episode, I don't think. But I think of a couple
lives. What do you mean
lives.
episode?
Like not like a long form video, just like a live stream or something.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of my TikToks.
We look like twins.
I know.
She copied me.
No, I didn't.
No, we both wanted to cut our hair, but she did cut her hair first.
No, as I remember, I wanted to cut my hair, and then you all of a sudden wanted to cut your hair. Just kidding.
Actually, I was trying to cut it a little bit shorter, but I actually really like it.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of wish mine was more platinum. I think I'm gonna wash mine with your shampoo so that it turns more that color because I like your color.
Oh, so now you're gonna copy me?
Yeah, because I've been trying to run away from the yellowy blonde, and this kind of turned into a yellowy blonde again. So I think I need to get that kind of shampoo. But also, I think with your blue eyes, it looks really good, that color.
Oh, what advice would Rachel give to her past self?
That is such a good question.
That is a really good one. I think the biggest thing would be to listen to yourself, and like respect yourself. Because a lot of the times in the church, we're told to just listen to the person above us and not
one above another.
Like there's always things that you're like, this seems a little off. And they're like, no, it's normal. This is fine. And so, really just listening to yourself and trusting those feelings.
And there was definitely moments though, like when we were filming your episode today, that, as you were telling it, it's like there were moments where your inner voice did come out, but it was shut down. Like you spoke up and was like, wait, how is this not, you're treating, just like that whole story, like you're treating these people better than our own family. That was you and your true self, but then it gets smacked down.
It's instantly shut down,
Yeah, so it's never celebrated for you to have any free thoughts. But yeah, that's such a good.
That is a really good question.
Good question.
What would you say to your past self?
I think I've been asked this a lot. I think it changes over the years depending on what I feel like I wish that I had as a child. But when I was a kid, I really, I had this ambitious drive to just to get out, and then everything is just going to hopefully work out for itself. But I wish that I had more validation. I think I would validate myself more. I would be like, it's not okay that they did those things to you. Yeah. You deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to have all of these things happen to you. Like just validating that child. Because I think I'm still struggling with validating right now. Because like even Jake the other day when he was asking me something that happened about my story in the order, I started like hyperventilating and being like, but mom and dad said this, but that's not what happened. And he's like, I know. They did the same thing to me. I know that. And like I was like trying so hard to make sure that he didn't believe the lies, because the lies were there were so many lies. And so even as an adult now, I still am like trying to validate my story and what happened to me. But I think it's because not only were our parents invalidating us, but also when I left, we discredit how bad it actually was. And I think that's part of like trying to just you're trying to run from it in a way.
Did somebody say, is that Cammie? No.
She's with Rachel. If you guys have watched Escaping Polygamy, there's an episode called Rachel in the first season, right?
Yeah, it's actually shared with Priscilla's, I think. Yeah, it is.
It's the same episode as
Yeah,
Priscilla's?
it is. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so, because I don't think I would be helping Priscilla escape and you escape at the same time. I think it's Melanie's. It's
Melanie's. That's right.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh,
Okay.
Melanie's episode, I cry every time I watch that when she's reunited with her sister. Have you seen that one?
Oh.
Sorry, I'm doing that because I don't want people to know that we're faking it.
I've definitely seen her episode when she's reunited, though. I can't
with
remember.
her older
It's been a while.
sister. Yeah. So they didn't if you guys haven't seen that episode, you really should watch it. It's so, even for me, it's like, whoa, that was powerful.
I think I might not have seen it because I try to stay away from that episode as much as I can.
Have you watched your episode?
No, not well. I think I have once, and I was like cringed the whole time. It was so hard for me to watch. We should do a
reaction.
Yeah, let's do a
Me and
reaction.
Priscilla did one, and it was so funny. We just reacted to like a little clip on YouTube, and she was like,
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. It was like the worst clip, though.
of yours? I was talking about Priscilla.
Oh,
which one were you watching?
The salad scene.
Rachel hates the salad scene on his.
Oh my gosh, I was so hungry.
She is crying and eating salad, and it's like a meme for us, but you guys probably have no idea what we're talking about.
We'll do a reaction video to that.
Yeah, and we'll show you the salad scene that we're talking about. But you have to remember, you were 18. You were just poor little 18-year-old Rachel.
Well, and that's why it's so cringe watching it, because I'm like, oh, a different person. You know, like that's not me anymore. Yeah. I'm this independent person who like moved all the way to Washington alone. Yeah. By myself. Like that's who I am now. Whereas that poor little girl that I see on the Escaping Polygamy, I'm like, that's somebody help her. Yeah. Somebody help so her. It's kind of cringe, you know?
But do you feel like there was a part of you that felt, because I remember there was a time where you were like, I do want to share my story, but I want to feel like I've made it. Do you remember talking about that? Yeah, that was a big thing. And it was kind of more about, I want people to see that I made it before I share my story. But like that. Were you insecure with where you were at the time? Like it wasn't far enough because you hadn't graduated, or? The issue is it's never going to be good enough for them. Right? That's true. So in my head, I was like, I graduated. That wasn't good enough. I got a great job. That wasn't good enough. I like moved to Washington and did all this stuff. That wasn't good enough because nothing's going to be good enough, you know? So I changed it to be good enough for me. Yeah. As long as you were happy with where you're at, because no matter what, you're right. There's always going to be something like, well, like with me, it was like, you didn't have kids. Where's my grandkid? You know, it's like, you're still doing things that are, I mean, I stayed married longer than I should have because that was in the back of my mind. Like, yeah. I remember those haunting words of like, oh, we'll give them 5 years. They're not going to last. But and you're like, I don't want them to say I told you so. But it's like, they're going to say I told you so no matter what. So are you going to hate your life because you want to live up to their standards? It's never going to be good enough. Even if we stayed in the church and did exactly what they wanted, it wouldn't be good enough. That's true. Even while I was in, they were saying mean things about me. We were still in the wrong. Let's see. Questions for a civil engineer. What questions would you have for a civil engineer? How do you do that? Math. Beep, bop, boop, boop. That's what she does. All day. I know, every time. I always, I gotta post some more of these. Oh, actually, we wanted to ask this question. What? What do you think I do as a civil engineer, Amanda? So I actually think I know a lot about that now. In the past, It was like, in the past, I would think, oh, you just like people call you and then you have to go look at the structure and be like, yep, this is stable. That's what I thought it was. Looks good. Good to go. But now I think you have to actually draw it up and make sure that the equations are lateral and longitude is they equal out. And E equals MC squared. And that is exactly what I do. And that is exactly right. Do you ever use the quadratic equation? No, because we have calculators for everything now. Oh, so you do? You just put it into the calculator? Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes, when did I use it last? I used it recently for something. I'm pretty sure it was just for studying for my PE exam, though. Hmm.
So it's really just for the tests and stuff, because they teach you how to do it hand calculations, so that you know how it works. But they have calculators for everything now. So
That's nice. That's good to know.
is that
Hello,
Cami?
pumpkin
Is
spice
that another person?
latte.
Oh no, that's the same one. Hey everyone, people are still coming in.
Well, I saw two questions that are interesting. These two.
Okay.
Do you want to answer one of those? Do you like those questions?
You want to answer this one, and I'll answer this one.
No, this one. Oh, you like that one?
Oh wait, which ones was you pointing
I
to?
was pointing to these two. I didn't even
Okay.
read that one. You can answer whatever ones you want.
What's the most surprising thing after leaving? Ooh, that is a good question. Okay, most surprising. You go first.
I had one in my head. There's a lot, but I think the one that really messed with my head the most is that my my trauma was repeating itself out here because I brought the trauma with me. And like I ended up having to learn the same lessons over and over and over again because in a weird way I was running towards the crowds of people that were familiar.
Yeah, I would say that was a big one too. Like you're realizing that what's comfortable,
Is not always what's best for you.
yeah, like what was comfortable to us was people controlling our lives.
Oh yeah.
So we were literally running into relationships, even friendships for me, with people who would take control of the whole friendship.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even have a voice because I didn't have a voice in the church. So I actually
Right.
was more comfortable in those friendships.
Isn't it so weird that like even though I remember leaving the order because I could not stand the control that dad had on me and I could not stand the environment that I was in, yet I still it was like I could only be with people who gave me that treated me the way that I was used to being treated because it was like a foreign language to be in a healthy relationship. It was too
Right.
foreign. And so you really have to dive into healing those parts of yourselves, or you're going to keep recreating the trauma that you were just in
Very
on
true.
accident.
I was gonna say too, one of the most surprising things to me, and it was like one of the best feelings I've had. I was at Washington. I was all alone in
You was
Washington.
at
I was at
Washington?
Washington. This is when I was.
Have you ever guys been at Washington?
You should try it. I was living in Washington at this time, and I was driving to work, and I was driving over this bridge that had, well, there was water underneath this bridge.
Have you ever seen one of them?
Anyways,
One of those?
so I was driving over the bridge, looking at the really pretty water view, because that's the reason I moved to Washington, was because of the water.
So pretty.
And I looked out at the water, and I thought to myself, wow, I am 100% free, finally. Like, it took me years to, even after leaving, of like talking good to yourself,
Yep.
like treating yourself right, doing the
Validating
things you said
yourself,
you're going to
loving
do.
yourself.
Yeah. And in that moment, I was like, if I wanted to book a trip across the country, I could. There's nothing stopping me from anything I decide to do. And that was the moment I was like, wow, I would have never felt this true freedom if I stayed.
Yep. That's so empowering. It's crazy though how so when I first left, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Mhm.
When I got divorced, I didn't even realize. It's like you don't even realize that you're drowning
Yeah.
until you get out of the water. You're like, what?
Yeah, I guess
I
that's
was drowning the whole time.
I guess that's what's shocking is like you leave and then you put more chains on yourself.
Yep.
Because
or no, I don't think you put more chains. You always have this heaviness.
Yeah, that's true.
But then you come out and you get a little bit off, but you're still in the heaviness.
But I went into a relationship that was like more controlling too.
That's
But
true.
you were already in one. So when I left, it was like so much too much. I couldn't handle all of the choices. It was really hard for me to make my own choices. I couldn't even order from a restaurant without getting a lot of anxiety. Because they were like, what were you want? What do you want? I'm like, I don't know. What do I want?
Please just tell me. Don't hurt me.
just what do you like? Just order whatever you want.
Yeah, I was vegan, and literally whenever anyone would serve me something and accidentally put something on it, I would not send it back. I would either pick it off or I'd just be like, it's fine.
Yeah, so I think in the beginning when I first left, I like was looking for somebody to control me. And then so it's like a little bit better, right, than the control of the order, but then there's still that control. And then you realize, oh, it's still controlling, so you get out of that situation, and it's like you have to kind of take baby steps to that full freedom. And that's why it took me 5 years after I left where I finally felt that full freedom in Washington.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's so freeing. And to realize that I think that I beat myself up a lot for being like, wait, so you walked into these situations and
Sorry.
you
The
want to read that
last
one?
time I saw Rachel was when you went to Seattle to see her, and Rachel's hair was really long. Do you remember
Yeah.
that trip? She
I
surprised
surprised
me.
her.
I had no idea she was
Oh,
gonna
I
be
should link
there.
that down below. That was such a fun trip. That was
Yeah.
in my spur of the same thing. Like I could do whatever I want. So I was like, I'm just gonna book a flight to go see Rachel because I missed you.
Amanda was gonna get in the box, ring my doorbell, and then pop out of the box. But I
you
wasn't
weren't
home.
home.
Yeah.
So then I figured out where you were. I tricked her. I didn't trick. I wasn't lying. I was just like, "What are you doing today? Where are you at?"
Yeah.
And then I happened to find her.
I don't know how she found me. I was literally just driving in Seattle, and she randomly found me
I
because
found
my
her.
truck was so easy to spot. But right when I saw you, I instantly was like, started tearing up because I'm like, I missed you so
"What?"
much, and I didn't expect you to be there. I was like, oh my god,
I was
it was
so
awesome.
excited. I love too that you have been the type to. I think all of us kind of are like this, but I feel like you're the most where you just up and go. You're like, I want to live here. Okay, I'm gonna go live there now. And so it's been. I think it's been like inspirational to all of us as siblings. Be like, if she's doing it, then I want to do it.
Yeah,
I hated living in Utah.
me too.
Like I don't know why. Well, I do know why I lived there for so long, but the second I got out of there, I could breathe again. What was some culture shocks did you experience after the order in Utah? I think culture shocks was realizing how messed up the order actually was. I'm still digesting that. When people would say, "Oh, so you were in a cult," and like when we were filming Same Polygamy, they kept calling it a cult, and I was like, because it was weird to believe that I was raised in a cult. Like I was like, well, daddy's do some weird things here and there. Is it weird with that?
Yeah, like you'll say something and somebody's like, oh, and you're like, what?
Yeah, was
that
that
was just our childhood.
so your dad doesn't sleep with his sister? Gotcha.
Okay, so that's a no.
So you guys don't eat eggshells for breakfast. Gotcha.
What was we used to call it eggshell grinder instead of a coffee grinder?
Yeah, eggshell grinder instead of coffee grinder. Oh, and I went to Walmart one time and I asked for Supertonic. I thought Supertonic was a universal thing. And the guy
Really?
was like, "What's Supertonic?" I'm like, it tastes like apple cider vinegar." And he's like, "We have apple cider vinegar." I'm like, "You don't have Supertonic? Who doesn't have Supertonic?"
Oh yeah, because they made that, huh?
It was made by an order member.
Yeah.
But there's just like random things like that were so weird. Like banking system too was such a shock. And then to be honest, can I be real with you guys? I think that everyone who leaves the order and the FLDS and a lot of these really racist cults, you have to shed a little bit of the racism that's unknown racism that you have.
Yeah, from growing up. Well, it's not just that; it's a lot of things you have to unlearn.
Right. So
Yeah.
so I was instantly more afraid of people who had tattoos, who smoked, who weren't white. Not as much because I went to public school, but I was still like there were all these stories that I was told about these types of people. And so I had these I would never ever say anything, but I do think when I think back to those times, the fear was so deep rooted that I do think that it made me less like wanting to be friends with people that were the bad ones that the order talked about.
Which is interesting because, like you said, you trust people more when they look familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And
That is a genetic thing, though. That's not just an order thing.
yeah. And that's probably the reason why we got into so much situations that were not good when we left
We would
because
instantly trust.
yeah, we would instantly
Yeah.
trust these people that looked, and we were drawn to the people who looked familiar,
Mm-hmm.
and we would instantly trust them and then realize that, oh,
Maybe I shouldn't just give them all of my trust.
Yeah.
Well, and like I think in a normal, healthy relationship, it's not 0 to 100 on the first date. Like
That's true.
I
They
think-
gotta earn that trust, right?
Yeah, you don't just give it. You slowly start to build that relationship. But with us, it was like I remember if someone asked me about my life, I would be like, okay, I came from a cult, and my dad sleeps with his half sister, and too much, not enough. I got more. But then you're feeling drained by the end of it, and it's like you
Yeah.
don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to share anything if you don't want to. There are things that are personal that you're allowed to wait till you feel comfortable sharing that.
Yeah, and sometimes there's just people who, like, you kind of have to fill it out, Sometimes people, are going to judge you for it. So, like, you don't need that, right? Other times it's like they may not, I don't know, like, sometimes it's like, okay, how much time do we have? Because I don't really really want to tell you my whole life story.
Right.
But so
How
maybe
deep are we gonna go?
we don't need to dig into that. You know?
How is online dating going? Nada. Not doing that. This year for
Yeah.
me at least was dating Amanda year, and it's been honestly the growth that you have for me, the growth that I've had choosing to just date myself has been I'm not mad at myself, but I'm like, why haven't I done this sooner? Why have I like always been like, okay, time to go date because I'm single? No. Why not date you? Why not hang out with yourself for a little bit?
Yeah. I just get sick of men, so I went a whole year trying to not date because it's hard when you're so used to like catering to men and stuff. So
I know my last two boyfriends were accidental. I think back, I'm like, how did I keep accidentally getting boyfriends? Because it was the guy that you date and you're like, I don't know, and they're like, hey, I'm in your town, and they're the pushy ones, and it's like, nah, okay, and that's what happened.
And then you just put up with it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, now I have a boyfriend, I guess. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah.
But now I'm intentionally like, no boyfriends. I'm dating myself.
I'm curious to see if you'll do the same thing as me because I went a whole year.
Yeah, she's been doing it longer.
I forced myself not to date for a year just to like find myself. And after I started dating a little bit after that year, and I was like, I kind of like being single again. Like I was, I don't know why, but when you start dating, they seem. How do I explain it? It's like
it's a lot of
you
work.
lose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of energy.
A lot of work and energy, and then you also kind of lose that freedom for some reason. Like I don't like telling somebody where I'm going all the time, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously like if you find the right person, then it's not going to feel that way.
Yeah,
but I do
that's true.
think that we as the people pleasers that we were growing up in the order and we're still shedding those parts of ourselves, we do give a lot in relationships and maybe too much of ourselves.
Yeah, and I think honestly with me, I'm kind of afraid of being controlled because of my past relationships, but also and because of that I like don't want to have to tell them anything, you know. So I think I am toxic in that way where I'm like take it a little too far where like
none of your business.
Why do you need to know where I'm going?
Yeah,
because that's my life. Anyways, so I think that I still when I started dating again I realized okay there's still more that I need to work on with myself, and more that I need to like love myself for. So I'm still working on that. Who knows if it'll ever end?
Yeah,
but
I think we're both in the same place as of like, because sometimes I get offended when people are like, "You'll get there. You'll find your partner, your other half." Like I'm waiting for my life to start. If I find a partner, I'm like, no. Like I think we're both in the same boat as like if one day someone happens to make our life better and then we choose to like do that, then fine. But if this is it, then we're happy with who we are as people.
yeah, my thought of it too is like we were even discussing this. Like our relationship is so like anytime we have any arguments, we're able to instantly like talk about it. And then even the last argument we talked about it right away. And then I was like, "There's still something I need to get off my chest." And the next day,
she slapped me.
The next day,
we she was like, "Why did you copy my hairstyle?" No, but it really was. It was not as difficult as it was in the past. In the past, I feel like
easier.
We would be kind of passive aggressive. We wouldn't know how to communicate it without being angry with each other.
Then we would like resent each other. I think that our relationship is something that I would want in a partner. Man. Yeah, because because we're living together, like we're constantly seeing each other, and we still don't get sick of each other. Mm-hmm. We don't feel like we drain each other.
But part of me is like, is it because we grew up together? But I'm like, no, because we had to learn these parts of ourselves. We
still were toxic to each other in the beginning. And I feel like, so that's what I'm trying to figure out is, do you have to grow with the person in order to make that happen?
Right. But it's also like, now that we have such a healthy relationship too, it's like, I can't imagine going and like finding a partner that's going to live up to the high standards I have now. Like now that I know what healthy is, mm-hmm. I'm not going to be in a relationship that's anything but. And I'm not also, I don't care to go seek it out because I have a healthy lifestyle. Like, why do I need, I think in the past it was like kind of needing some kind of validation. It was almost like when I wasn't going on dates, I was like, in a weird way, because I think in the order they really brought
Value
us
men's
up. Yeah, they
opinions.
brought us up to
Yeah.
believe that our opinion is less than a man's, because that's literally what they would do.
Yeah.
And all the time too, when there was anything that was happening where a man and a woman was involved, usually the woman was blamed. And so
Yep.
our voice was not heard there. We were slut shamed, we were ridiculed. It was just like women are the scum of the earth. So then that kind of accidentally we bring that out, not even realizing it's internal. And so then we value too much a man's voice.
Yep.
You know, yeah, I could go on and on and on about that topic. But hi, Crystal. Crystal's here. I just
Puppy
wanted someone to
changes.
travel or hang out with or just be friends. I know, and this is what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, when I was dating in other states, like, oh, I just want to have a boyfriend because then I can go do fun things. But we can go do fun things now. So I'm like, I guess I don't need a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
also, like, remember that video I was telling you? When silence, no, when, what is it? Sanity, no, calmness.
when calmness
When
is
you're calm,
confused for,
no.
oh, I don't know.
Sanity, no.
The chaos when you're attracted to a chaotic life. This is
Never
a good
mind.
question, actually. Sorry, someone said, if without saying names, is there someone that specifically you would like to see leave the order? There's so many that came to my mind when I read that. There's so many that I feel like if I saw them on the outside, they would be kicking ass out here. But the order keeps a thumb on them and their growth. Like
Yeah.
there were so many people that were so creative and funny and like their genuineness was so pure, but then it got so tainted by the brainwashing.
Yep.
So yeah, there's not just one person. There's so many people that I'm like, man, if they left, they would just be so successful out here.
Speaking of hitting that ceiling, that was an argument I brought up with Mom a lot, where she
What?
would always be like, well, how come you don't want to just be here? And I was like, don't you remember when I was there? Like, I literally was only able to go here.
Right.
And like
There was a
because
limit.
because I left, I was able to go to college, I was able to do all these things, was able to live my dreams. And what dreams would what would I be when I'm there? I
Yeah.
couldn't be any of that, you know?
It's kind of selfish that mom would not see your pain and suffering and only see how your choosing freedom for yourself is hurting her.
Right.
And that's something that has caused me to have to put boundaries up with her over and over and over again, because it was like I one of the last conversations I had with her is I think I was crying. I don't know if she knew I was crying, but I was like, it's just really, really hard to never be seen and understood by your own mother. Never be seen by you. And she
Yep.
was like, I see you. I see you. I'm like, no, you don't. And I don't know that you ever will.
Yeah.
And that's so hard as a child. Like how can you be of the womb of this person, of the same blood, and they will never see you for who you are? But I think that I try really hard not to take it personal, because it isn't personal. It actually has nothing to do with me. I don't have to show her. I don't have to. She has her own battles that she's dealing with, and she's in survival mode, and all of that stuff that she's going through all of her stuff is being projected onto me, and it has nothing to do with me. She will never be able to see anybody as
Yeah.
deeply as she sees herself.
Right.
And so that's really like, does she even see herself? Is she even being honest with herself? I cannot demand. And this is one thing too. Sorry, I'm going to ramble, but one thing I learned with her was that I had way too high of expectations. I kept thinking, oh, maybe I'm gonna finally have my mommy back,
Well, you
or
just
a
want your mom
mom.
to be proud of you,
Yeah,
know?
or just a healthy mother-daughter relationship. And then I would always get like, I would answer the phone and then I would be back like in depression, because it was never gonna be like, I cannot expect her to have the skills that she isn't that aren't available in the order. You can't
Yeah.
have those skills or those tools. Those tools are useless to survive in the order, so she can't have them.
Well, and you can't help somebody else when you can't even help yourself, so.
It's true. It's true. And it's not like I was wanting her to help me. It was just that I wanted to be
You
seen
wanted-
and heard by my mom.
Yeah, well, you literally wanted what every child wants,
Right.
validation from your mother, and we
Yep.
didn't get it. So Luckily, we have each other though. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, we've been each other's mom. Sometimes we call
Yes.
each other mom.
We really do, yeah.
Even with Cami, we'll be like, Mom, do we call Jiggy mom? Not yet.
No.
We're still learning about him. It's honestly, can we talk about him for a second? He's
Yeah.
sleeping next to us right now. But it has been really easy to talk with him and easy to bond with him, but I
Mhm.
have noticed that there's still things that we're working on with our relationship because it's been 10, 11 years since we were able to be siblings.
Yeah. And when I remember him, he was just this cute little
So
kid,
little.
you
So
know?
I wish I
Like,
had the picture on the fridge. He was
yeah.
so young when we left, and I have to do another episode with him because he tells me things that he remembers that I said that stuck with him even after
Yeah.
I left. And I was like, I didn't even remember saying that to you. And he's like, I remember you saying that. I'm like, it does sound like something I would say. But it's like those moments that we had, like, I don't know. It's so messed up. The more that I talk with Jakey too, it's like I'm invalidating myself again, being like, it is crazy actually that mom and dad cut us off from our own siblings. That's
Yeah.
crazy that they did that and that they took that from us. And now we're having to rebuild it now because you guys chose to use this our siblings as leverage to control us. And a lot
Yeah.
of people out there have the same. I've had so many people message me bonding with me over the fact that their parents did the same thing to them and they weren't even in a cult. It was just that the parents wanted their household to be a specific way. And then when one kid was like, hey, I don't like you abusing, then they pushed him out and they weren't allowed to see the kids anymore because the kid was like, hey, stop abusing me and the siblings. And then they go through the same thing that we went through. I don't know if you went through this of like, I can't I can't stay in this burning building with you guys. I'm sorry. And like you kind of go through this phase of like, I gotta save myself or else I'm gonna burn. Like
Well,
I
cause
can't carry you
yeah,
guys with me. I'm sorry. Like
cause
you
you
feel this
can't.
guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt it with them, and then I also felt it with some friends that I had because they told me that too. Some of my friends were like, "You just left without me." I was like, "I didn't even know you wanted to leave. And what do you want me to do? Put you in my shoebox?" Like,
That's what Eska said. I felt so bad.
Esco said that.
I was like, I'm sorry, you're not old enough.
Oh,
Like,
because he was still a minor.
yeah. I was like,
Oh,
I would have told you, but I couldn't
yeah,
because I didn't even let him know because we were so close at that time. It was like, our bond,
yeah.
mine and his was that close.
Were you scared
And
he was gonna
then,
tell on you?
yeah, I was so scared.
Oh,
Even though we were really close, I just didn't. It was like it kind of came up really quickly, and I was afraid of so many different things. I was afraid that
yeah,
like if I didn't take the opportunity, it wouldn't happen again. I was afraid that like if any little thing went wrong, then it wasn't going to happen, and I just wanted it to happen as quick as
yeah.
possible.
It's true.
Crystal, I think she said hi. I want to go back to some of these. Where is it? Oh, hi, Crystal. Who else is new in here?
There's a lot of
Are
questions
you
in
seeing
here.
double?
I'm proud of all the people that made the choice to leave. Thank you, Erica. Oh, they're in Boston. It's 2:30 in Boston.
Oh
It's
wow.
technically still Sunday here, okay? So,
Should I do this one?
yeah. He always has such good
That is
questions.
a good one. So, Rachel, what was your life like in the order in your words? That is a tough one. I think we kind of talked about this on the video that we did earlier. I was always just the quiet one. And I feel like that was my coping mechanism where like if I was just quiet like a fly on the wall, then I wouldn't get in trouble, right? I
Mhm.
wouldn't get um beat or anything. I guess what was the saying? Oh, I was always the sweet, sweet, sweet Rachel,
Mom
is
would
what
call her
mom would
that.
call
Sweet,
me.
sweet, sweet Rachel.
And there was one time when I finally started speaking. I guess I feel like we talked about this in the other one. Should I say it still? When I
Um,
finally started
using your voice,
using
basically.
my voice, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally started using my voice, and mom was like, "What happened to my sweet, sweet, sweet Rachel?" And I was like, "I'm still here." I
But
was
it's like
so
it's what she
mad.
projected onto you, what she wanted. Well, you
Yeah,
only got praise for being exactly what they wanted, and then you
right.
got you got. This is what triggers me so much with it is like, even from a very young age, we are forced to have the emotions down to the emotions that they want us to have. Like
Yep.
there were times where they wouldn't let our sister leave the room until you have to say happy, smile,
Yeah.
say happy, and it's like forcing them to have to be ingenuine. with
Mhm.
your own self. But yeah, it is interesting though that we were sisters. We're only 1 year apart, but we did have different coping mechanisms and different ways of handling the abuse.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, with me, it was like I felt like I couldn't get out of it. I felt like I was always getting in trouble. And so I would try to run away or I would try to hide the spanking stick.
Well, I think because you were the scapegoat, you know.
Yeah,
So I feel like you were blamed a lot for
I was blamed
mom's
for your stuff.
unhappiness.
Yeah,
Well, literally not even things that you were doing, but because if somebody was upset that day, they would take it out on you because you were the scapegoat, you know. And I feel like that's what happened with Jake too.
yeah. Because Jake does, I don't know if he talked about it in our video together, but he does say that after I left, then he became the one that they did those things to.
Yeah, the issue
Like
is
it
like
was
there's
all on me, and then I left, and it
yeah,
became him.
the issue is there's always got to be somebody like that in order for them to be lifted up, right? To seem like I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I don't
Good.
know how they pick their victim, but like me and Jake was reading this book. It's called "It's Not You," and when you're raised in a narcissistic household with narcissistic parents, there's always a scapegoat, and then there's a different dynamic where there's a golden child. There's a what was the one you were as like people pleaser or the forgotten child?
The forgotten child, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so weird how why is it like this? Why are narcissists where there's one specific one that's the bad one, and it's like they have the black and white mentality where
Yeah.
it's all good or all bad, and so one kid is always good and they're the golden child, and then one kid's always bad, and nothing you can do will ever be right. And I remember there was times where I cleaned the whole entire house, like hoping that mom would be excited, and she got home. Every single time I did that, actually, it was multiple times I did that. Then she would get home, she would just be like, "Well, you missed this mom." Well, it was like I could never get praise
Yeah.
ever.
You
But
can never
my
please them.
therapist, this was a while ago, but my therapist, when I told her some of the stories that my mom did to me, she was like, I don't understand why your mom did those things. Like, do you think your mom, and maybe she shouldn't have said this, but she acted like my mom hated me. And I was like, I think she did. Or like she purposefully wanted me to suffer
Well,
because it made her happy to
I
watch me
think that
suffer.
I think she actually blamed you for a lot of things, and she started believing that you were the reason for a lot of her pain,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
False.
That's just crazy. That you like. Can you imagine blaming your kid for
Oh,
all of
yeah,
her pain?
all of the
Like,
stuff too that she's blaming me. Mind you, I was a minor. I was a child
like
when I
you-
was this devil that she thought I was.
who raised me,
Yeah. You.
mommy?
Also, I was in a cult too. Like I wasn't even like getting very much influence from anyone else but you.
Y'all could play the twins from The Shining.
Red rum.
Is that? Do we look like them? I haven't seen The Shining.
Glad you both got out. Thank you, Beauty and the Buds. This conversation is very healing for me. Thanks, Amanda and Rachel. Oh, I'm so glad,
Aw.
Laura. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear Jakey snoring. We're probably going to be going off to bed soon, so we don't wake him up. But
I never realized before how much you and Rachel look alike. Yeah,
yeah, when we have the same haircut. Okay, I think this,
I honestly didn't
do you
think
want
we
this
were
to
gonna have the same haircut, but we do.
Well,
yeah.
a little different, but also I did her makeup and she did my hair.
Yeah, we tried. We
did
for the
try
video
today.
we did earlier, or I think the TikToks we were doing. We tried to look a lot more like each other.
Yeah, we did. We did try. Do you want to answer one last question, then we'll go?
Yeah,
I
let's
kind
go
of
to this.
like this one. If you want to answer that one, or is that too long?
Wait, what the heck is this? Well, they won't be getting. I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh, Rachel, were you ever betrothed? I wasn't. I was never betrothed. But we do have a video that we're going to talk about when they were trying to like kind of pressure me a little bit to get married. But honestly, because of I think you and Cami leaving and all of that, and I constantly was like running away from that. But I actually was really happy that this happened because you guys left. A lot of people didn't want to come forward on me because our family had like a bad
tainted
name.
name?
Either that or for some
Well,
like I didn't really have a lot of people come forward on me.
I think that Dad maybe didn't tell you because Dad.
But
Dad
why would
didn't
he
tell
not
me
want to? Why would he not want to tell me?
because he wanted you to marry a specific person.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, we are going to actually dive into this story a little bit more on, I think it's going to be part 2, because there was a list that I had to write of potential people to marry.
Suitors.
Yeah. And I don't know how much in depth I should go on this. I guess we could just talk about it again, huh?
Yeah, well, we can talk about it in the long form video, but basically, you and Kemi were supposed to write a list of potential suitors for marriage, right?
Yeah. I wrote 3 people, 3 people
3
down, and then
husbands. You know what's weird? I never had the luxury of that.
the luxury. Oh,
Mine
so
was
you,
just, this is who you're going to marry.
That's why he only let you. Oh my gosh.
We'll probably talk
Okay.
about this in the
Yeah, we
next
should talk
video.
about this.
But yeah, Jakey's snoring, and I feel kind of bad that we're probably making it hard for him to sleep.
Let's
But
see
thank
what
you guys
else.
for hanging out.
Should we?
Are you having fun here?
This is fun. I like talking to you guys. This is fun. Glad you joined us.
Yeah, look at
Rachel.
all
Thanks,
these new
Crystal.
friends you have.
That's cute.
Tootaloo.
Toodaloo, Kevin. Toodaloo.
Yeah, we're toodaloo. If you guys liked this, you're gonna love the video coming out with Rachel in it. And anything that we don't cover, obviously, yes, ask your questions, but also we're gonna be talking about all of the stuff that we were just saying.
Don't wake the baby.
Don't wake the baby.
Is he talking about Jake?
Yeah. Love you both. Love you, Crystal. Bye, Crystal. Bye, Val Creatures. Bye, Emily. Bye, Erica. Bye, Kevin. Bye, 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 bye.